Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and I want to talk about something incredible that I discovered about Dungeons & Dragons just this week, and I want to share it with you because it's pretty incredible. And what that is a rhythm, a seasonal rhythm of Dungeons & Dragons events, and these events fall into 4 categories, and I want to share those categories with you. It's pretty incredible. So I'm going to share it with you, and then once I'm done sharing this rhythm, right, with you, this seasonal rhythm that happens with Dungeons and Dragons events, you're going to say, Scott, I don't know, man. I don't know if that rhythm exists. And then the rest of this week, you're going to get 1 video a day, presenting to you the reality elements of what I have said. All right. So you'll get 4 additional videos, 1 for each season in 2023 that, in my opinion, supports this concept that I'm putting forward, that Dungeons & Dragons has a very distinct rhythm, okay? A very distinct rhythm, a seasonal rhythm for its events, okay? Pretty astounding. So first of all, I am a presentorian of Dungeons & Dragons. I care about Dungeons & Dragons present. Now, I absolutely care about its history, but I only care about its history to understand its present. I'm not, Ben Grimm sitting here, just learning about the history of Dungeons & Dragons to be a grognard and, say, oh, Lorraine Williams isn't good at what she did. I have a purpose for it, right? So let's get all the way there. So basically, and I was studying the present of Dungeons & Dragons this year. What happened this year, right, in Dungeons & Dragons? And I was like, I want to do a recap of this year because it was absolutely incredible, right? And I couldn't believe the list I made. I had 16 events that happened this year, and I realized all the competitor events were literally an additional list with 3 events in each season. So when I just listed what happened this year on Dungeons & Dragons, I easily was able to come up with 16 events that came up this year. 4 events per season, and then an additional competitors list of 3 events, right? And then, and actually I came up with about 25 events. And what I realized is I looked at the list and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a pattern, right? I saw this pattern. There's a rhythm. There is a seasonal rhythm where 4 things happen every single season on Dungeons & Dragons, which is truly astounding, and I want to share it with you right now. So what is the seasonal rhythm of Dungeons & Dragons events? Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, it is Canon Crisis Media Instance. All right, every single season this year, 4 things have happened on Dungeons & Dragons. The season starts, right? Now, actually, all these events can happen in any order in the season, but they all happen within a season. I'm going to give them to you in order here, but the order can absolutely change within a season, but it never changes. All of these things happen in a season, right? And I'll give you reality elements all this week to support what I'm saying here, okay? So I'm very excited about this. All right, okay. Canon. A Canon hardback drops every season, right? And the thing that's astounding about that is you're like, oh, Scott, of course, right? No company does this. There's no company in the world that's dropping a Canon hardback every season. Do you understand how difficult that is? It's astounding, right? And it is, I've said it, it is the heartbeat of every dungeon, of every real dungeon master. The player's handbook drops and our heart beats, right? If you're like me, your heart beats every 3 months and carries you forward to the next 3 months, right? The D&D Canon, the Dungeons & Dragons Canon hardback is our heartbeat, right? It is our character heartbeat. It's a Canon hardback that is our character heartbeat, and it drives many of the aspects of our character, right? Gary Gygax said, be a hero, be an adventurer, quest, slay monsters, do, right? The Canon hardback is our character heartbeat if you're a dungeon master, okay? All right. Crisis. There is a crisis. There was a crisis in every single season, okay? Now, the crises are never real. They are produced by Dungeons and Dragons haters. Now, and get this, why does Dungeons and Dragons have an entire, like, huge, like, you know, balcony lobby of, you know, like the old Muppets, of haters, right? Because it wins so hard, so constantly, right? Like, so, you know, haters are going to hate. People hate a winner, right? And it's like, it's a thing, right? Like, and so every single season, right, the D&D haters show up and go, crisis, right? Like, and we deal with a crisis. It's every season, literally. So, oh, and I should have defined this. When I say season, I mean spring, summer, fall, winter. Every 3 months, literally the seasons, okay? Every season this year, we have had a crisis. It's incredible, okay? All right, media. Every single season, we've had a huge media release of Dungeons and Dragons that was not a crisis, not the canon hardback, okay? And that means like literally a massive media release, right? And it could be a video game, it could be a show, it could be a movie, it could be some other type of medium, right? Media could be some other type of media. And it is a huge thing that is not a canon hardback that carries Dungeons and Dragons forward and is a massive media like event, a huge media event. So the canon trust me, believe, every canon hardback release is an event. Literally thousands of reviews go up within a day, right? The crisis is always an event. Every D&D hater's got new content for their, you know, for their channel, right? And these media items are an event, right? Last is an instance. What is an instance? An instance is a Dungeons and Dragons event that is not media, is not a canon hardback, right? By the way, what I mean by canon hardback, I mean like Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. I mean Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk. Those are, you know, canon hardbacks, right? And so the instance is an event, a Dungeons and Dragons event that is not media, okay? Not crisis, not a canon hardback, but is a distinct activity that is happening on, around, or because of Dungeons and Dragons. So there is this rhythm. There is literally a rhythm of Dungeons and Dragons events that occur in every single season, right? Canon hardback, right? And you're like, oh, Scott, I don't know. I'm about to show you. You're going to see it this week. I will present to you every 2023 season, spring, summer, fall, and winter, and the reality elements will support exactly what I am presenting to you. Okay? All right. So basically, every single season, there is canon, there is crisis, there is media, and there is instance. 4 different types of events, right? Now, on some seasons, there might be multiple instances. In some seasons this year, there were multiple canon hardbacks. In some seasons, there were multiple crises, right? In some seasons, there were multiple media, right? But here's the issue. In every season, every single type of event occurred. There is a rhythm. There is a pattern to Dungeons and Dragons activity. Why is that? Because at this point, it has become a living thing, and it has its own momentum, right? And it has its own heartbeat. That heartbeat is the canon hardback, and nothing happens without those, right? And that's why they will always be printed for at least. I'll tell you right now, as long as when will it happen? When books are no longer printed in America. I'm telling you, like sacred texts and D&D canon hardbacks and comic books will be the last things printed. Every single word of that is my humble opinion, and I'm presenting it to you so that I can hear what's far more important, your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.